All right, it is time for Act 1, Scene 5. We're going to do most of this scene in this video, and then tomorrow we'll finish Act 1 with finally the moment where Romeo and Juliet actually meet each other. So at the beginning, we start out here with some serving men, and Anthony and Pot Pan come in, at least that they are named in the book. I forget if they're named in this one. It's just a little bit of comic relief as they're hurriedly like cleaning up after the meal and getting ready for the dancing. So they're looking for each other, etc. As we continue, remember there might be tiny little differences in this and your book as well, but they're pretty minor. So they're not really anything to worry about, but you might notice if you're looking in the book and then looking up here, some things that are slightly different. So let's go ahead and get started with scene 5. And then we will pause as all of the maskers join, everybody comes in, etc. So listen up, scene 5, here we go.
A hall in Capulet's house. Musicians waiting. Enter servants.
Where's Pot Pan, that he helps not to take away? He shift a trencher, he scrape a trencher.
When good manners shall lie all in one or two men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing.
Away with the joined stools, remove the court cupboard, look to the plate. Good thou, save me a piece of marchpane, and as thou loves me, let the porter let in Susan Grindstone and Nell. Antony and Pot Pan.
Aye, boy, ready.
You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great chamber.
We cannot be here and there too. Cheerily, boys, be brisk a while, and the longer liver take all.
They retire behind.
All right, so then all of these characters come in. We've got Lord Capulet, Lady Capulet, Romeo Mercutio Benvolio, the other maskers, Tybalt, all these guests show up, and Lord Capulet is welcoming them. Okay, now the party's been going for a bit, the meal is over, but now it's about time to start the dancing. Lord Capulet loves a good party, so he welcomes them, and off the top here, you can see it. He says, ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. So corns are like sores or warts or something on the bottom of your feet, and they can be very painful. So he's accusing any girls who don't want to dance of having these painful corns on their feet. It's all in good fun. And then as he continues, he starts to reminisce about the times he remembers when he was a young man wearing a mask and crashing all these other parties when he was young. So let's hear it.
Enter Capulet and company with the guests, the maskers.
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will have a bout with you. Ah, my mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she elsewhere hath corns. Am I come near you now? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a vizard and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You're welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play.
All right, the music plays, they start dancing. You're watching this on stage. There might be a big choreographed dance with everybody on stage. Lord Capulet is encouraging them. And then he turns to his cousin and they start reminiscing about the good old days.
All give room and foot it goes.
Music plays and they dance.
More light, you knaves. Turn the tables up and quench the fire. The room is grown too hot. Ah, Sarah, this unlooked for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet. For you and I are past our dancing days. How long is it now since last yourself and I were in a mask?
My your lady, 30 years.
What, man? 'Tis not so much, 'tis not so much. 'Tis since the nuptial of Lucentio. Come Pentecost as quickly as it will, some 25 years, and then we masked.
'Tis more, 'tis more. His son is elder, sir. His son is 30.
Will you tell me that his son was but a ward 2 years ago?
All right, so these two older guys sitting around talking about the good old days. Lord Capulet says it was 25 years ago. His cousin says, no, it was 30. So Capulet is feeling pretty old here. And then if you're watching the movie or thinking about what a movie might look like, then the camera cuts over to Romeo, and Romeo sees Juliet for the first time across the dance floor. She's dancing with somebody else, which is why he says here, what lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight? Okay. And then he has his incredible reflection upon seeing Juliet for the first time.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady o'er her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
All right, I just want to point out a couple things here. Number one, at the top, it says, it seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, right? In Ethiop's ear, an Ethiop would be a person from Ethiopia, okay? And so somebody who's very dark-skinned, black. And he says, she hangs upon the cheek of night as a jewel in an Ethiop's ear. So if you have darker skin, something that's really light colored, like a diamond or a jewel, is gonna really pop, right? And basically he's saying that's the same as Juliet in this room, right? Her beauty pops out just as much as a jewel would against that dark background. Then at the bottom, did my heart love till now, forswear at sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night. That rhymed couplet there is pretty interesting, considering that the entire play started with him at 5 a.m. In the Grove of Sycamores crying because Rosaline didn't like him. And oh, by the way, about an hour ago, Benvolio had to convince him to come to the party, and he only agreed to come so that he could see Rosaline. And about half an hour ago, he was still saying, oh, I don't know, something bad is going to happen at this party. But now, did my heart love till now, forswear at sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night. Whether or not you believe in love at first sight, Romeo believes that he is experiencing it here, okay? And as he's speaking, he's just kind of talking to himself, but he's overheard by Tybalt, and he's masked, and there's plenty of people around at this party, but Tybalt somehow recognizes his voice, okay? Let's hear how he reacts.
This, by his voice, should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What, dares the slave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin.
Why, how now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain, Romeo.
Okay, so as we look at this, Tybalt recognizes his voice and immediately turns to his uncle and says, there's a villain, there's a Montague here. And it makes me laugh because he tells Lord Capulet, there's a Montague here. And Capulet immediately goes, oh yeah, is it Romeo? And yes, it is. Romeo, we know, came to the party just to see Rosaline. And now he's interested in Juliet. Tybalt doesn't know that. And we see Tybalt's line here. It's line 71. I think it's line 58 in the book. I'm not sure. But he says, he's come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night. meaning Romeo came to the party just in spite, and he's here to mock our party. He's here to make fun of us, okay? And Lord Capulet here is going to react in a way that you or I may or may not expect, and Tybalt certainly does not expect. He basically tells Tybalt, and you can see it in line 74, let him alone, okay? Leave Romeo alone. He's going to explain why here in this speech.
Content thee, gentle cars, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman. And to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all the town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence, and put off these frowns, an ill-beseeming semblance for a feast.
All right, so leave him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. So number one, leave him alone because he has a really good reputation here in this town. And so therefore, Lord Capulet says, I wouldn't do anything to disparage him here in this house. Okay, so be patient. Secondly, he says, if you respect my will, then show a fair presence and put off these frowns, an ill-beseeming semblance for a feast. If you're stewing and angry and violent, right? That is not good for a party, right? And Tybalt says here below, he's about to say, it fits when such a villain is a guest. He's determined. He has this rage inside him for Romeo, and Capulet snaps right back.
It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, good man boy? I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here or you? Go to. You'll not endure him? God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You will set cock a hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to, go to. You are a saucy boy. Is't so indeed? This trick may chance to scathe you. I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my hearts. You are a princox. Go. Be quiet, or more light, more light. For shame, I'll make you quiet. What? Cheerily, my hearts.
All right, I love this scene with Lord Capulet, where he's standing up to Tybalt and saying, no, thank you. He says, you'll make mutiny among my guests. You'll set cock a hoop. Basically means you'll send this party into chaos. You'll be starting off all this random violence. Please don't, okay? He calls him a princox. He calls him a saucy boy. This is a fun one. And Tybalt finally says, okay, fine. I'll step back, okay? Let's hear his reaction here.
Patience perforce with willful choler meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitter gall.
Exit.
All right. So I just want to mention those last two lines. I will withdraw. Okay. All right. I'll leave him alone. I'll stop. But this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall. Okay. So I will withdraw. I'll stop. But this intrusion, Romeo, intruding on our party, shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall. Gall is bitter. And so he's saying, it seems sweet and like fun and light and everything. So now that Romeo is crashing the party, he's a young man, it's whatever, but something bad's gonna happen. It's not a good idea. Even though it seems sweet, it's a bad idea to let Romeo be here at the party. He's got to go, okay? But Tybalt said, I will withdraw. I won't do anything about it right now. He exits, okay? That's where we left off today. Tomorrow in our reading, as you'll see here on the screen, we'll get to have Romeo and Juliet's flirtation. We'll have them meet for the first time and learn who each other are, etc. And then we've got the end of the party and the end of Act 1. So you can look forward to that. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day. Talk to you soon.